As Leisha here from Massage Champions, really excited to be able to share with you an interview we did with Laura Calderone. Now, Laura is a beautiful therapist from Geelong in Victoria. She's been in business about 3 months, and what she's going to be sharing with you is the exact things that she did to basically triple the amount of clients she saw from the first quarter that she opened through to the second quarter. And she's going to share how she did that, how she increased her rebooking rate, and the kind of things that she put in place to get there. So I'm really excited. Listen in, take lots of notes, and I look forward to seeing you at the end of the video. Hey Laura, how are you going?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you.
That's fantastic. It's so awesome to be able to connect with you today. Thank you so much for setting the time aside to hang out with us and have a conversation. I would really like to maybe share, if you want to share a little bit about who you are, your business, who you love to help, and how long you've been, how much experience you've had in the industry and that kind of stuff, and just kind of talk us through your business journey so far.
Yeah, cool. So I am a perinatal massage specialist and a remedial massage therapist. So obviously with that, love to help women throughout the stages of pregnancy and into motherhood. But my other interest areas are desk workers, so people that are at a desk all day, people that have headaches, and people that have fibromyalgia or chronic pain symptoms, because that's a lot of the clients that I'm coming, that are seeing me have that sort of going on for them. So I'm trying to tailor what I do to treat those clients, and it's what I'm interested in anyway. So that's working really, really well.
Yeah.
So I'm solo practitioner. I have been working for myself for 6 months. Prior to that, I was a subcontractor for someone in Melbourne for about 8-10 months. So I've only really been in the industry I was there for 12 months, sorry. So in the industry about 1.5 years. Yeah. Practicing and working.
Fantastic. So look, let's talk a bit about your experience, and then I'd love to at some point have a chat about the 3 very specific niches you have and how you actually speak to them. So maybe let's talk about the conversation that went on prior to you coming into working with us, and maybe where you were at in your business, where you were at in your mind, because I think you were literally about to move to a brand new area and launch a brand new business as somebody who'd never run a business before, so to speak, especially in this industry. I'd love to hear a bit about where you were at that time, and then walk us through some of the steps that you've taken since then.
So I had been living in Melbourne with my partner for a few years. I had done my certificate and then diploma massage training, like 2 years back to back. And then for last year was working as a massage therapist while studying as well. So when my studies had finished, we had that choice of, do we stay in Melbourne or do we go back to Geelong where our families are and where we can, create perhaps our own family and, do what we need to do for ourselves and for our lives. So we made the move, and then during that move, I think I'd come across Massage Champions in the beautiful world of Facebook, and had started looking at some of the free videos and the things that were on there and going, this seems really interesting. This is something that I need to do if I'm going to do run my own business. Because I knew that I had 2 choices when we moved. I could either subcontract for someone else and help grow someone else's business, or I could try it for myself and do my own thing, see the clients that I want to see, set my own limits and set my own, I guess, business up and do it the way I wanted to do it.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome. And I love it when people are looking at, I've got the opportunity to start it. I've got a completely clean canvas. Some people like to make a great big mess and then bring us in to clean it up. And some people like yourself go, nah, let's just make this canvas awesome right from the get-go.
Yeah, because I'm I have no idea how to do this. I need help. And if I don't get help now, I will really struggle later.
Yeah.
So I know, because I know what I'm like.
It's great to have that awareness. So talk us through what were some of the things that you actually put in place while you were going through the program? What were your big aha moments? What did you learn through the program that in relation to running your business?
So I think it's one of the first or second lessons. It's about that above the line, below the line thinking. Like that has sort of stuck with me this whole way through, and within the first 6 months of my business, just realizing that I need to come from cause. I need to realize the things that I'm responsible for, and that all the responsibility does rest on me, and that, you know, that's hard to deal with sometimes, but I need to deal with that if I'm going to keep moving forward and keep doing the things that I want to do.
And it's so often like our mindset plays such a massive part in business, in our business, because we, like when we think of, I don't really get business, we think of maybe systems and structure and having something on the wall that talks about, you know, integrity and honesty, and all that other stuff that we don't even know what we don't know yet. We don't really think about how our mindset actually plays into that. Why we spend the first week in Fully Booked actually doing that, actually like unpacking and learning about mindset, because how we do one thing is how we do everything. And if our business is a reflection of us. So if we want it to change and grow, then the first place that we go is for us to change and grow. And the more we can come from cause, like you're saying, and actually be responsible for how we respond to situations, the more control we have in the situation and the bigger we can actually affect the outcome.
Yeah.
So if we actually blame ourselves instead of other people and go, how am I responsible for this? How am I responsible for this? It gives us the power to change it. It's actually power to, rather than, like, I think there can be a tendency to want to shy away from that a little bit. Like, oh, it's not my fault. It's everyone else's fault. I just want to help the people. I don't want to have to do all that and stuff. And it's like, you know, it's true. However, if you want to actually rock it out, then you've got to be willing to step into that. So I love that you've highlighted that, and I love that that was a big, massive learning. Yeah. So with the mindset side of things, kind of, you know, that was a big aha moment. What were some of the marketing steps that you've taken or that you've learned about as well?
So I knew that obviously I was coming into a new area, so I knew no one and nothing. So I had to get my name out there, and where I'm located is a really prominent corner. It's near a hospital, so there's lots of people walking past. And I think so I had a bit of a soft launch, like the month before I officially launched. I was in the building, in the clinic, and I could see people walking past, and I just felt like shouting out the window, like, hello, I'm here. Like, this is what I do and who I am. I'm like, I need to get out there. So one of the first things I did was I put together a little bit of a welcome letter and got some brochures and took them around to GPs and local services, like anyone that I thought would be interested and sort of matched up with what I do and what I'm interested in. So I don't know whether that ultimately ended up working or not. I don't know, but it kept me busy. It kept me sort of doing something, so I wasn't just sitting and wallowing and being sad that no one was coming. And I'm like, well, if no one's going to come to me, I've got to go to them. Yeah.
And that's that coming from cause, because I'm curious around how much courage did it take to take your stuff and hand it to a receptionist?
Yeah. Oh God, it was frightening.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've done that before in previous role when there's new services opening up and things like that. But I had a script that they had put together. Yeah. That they told me to say. Now it's like, oh no, this is me. I'm representing myself. How do I want to be represented? What do I say that's going to best reflect that? And then, you know, you do get some people that aren't receptive, and they'll just sort of grab your brochure and tuck it away. It's like, okay, don't get disheartened by that. That's just one person. There's lots of other people today that you saw and you had a chat with, and they loved what you were doing and what you had to say, and they were really receptive. So don't let that one person bring you down.
Yeah, that's really good. So don't let one person bring you down, because honestly, they're always going to be there. There's always going to be somebody saying rah, 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 at some point. And, you know, that's cool. Just love them through the process. We don't know what they've been through. We don't know their journey. It's actually about just being able to move forward, doing what we love. Yeah. So, and then also having the courage to do the stuff that's the hardest. Because imagine if you had have done, I don't know, something that was easy, like printing up the flyers and then just leaving them in reception at the place. Like, that could have been way easier. But you didn't. You actually took them and you went face to face with people, and you literally pushed through the path of most resistance to have that growth. And then talk to us about some of the more digital online action steps that you've taken as well.
Yeah, so I've done the Facebook ads. So listening to, I guess there was the lesson in the Fully Booked group about ads and how to work them. I'm like, okay, now I actually know how this whole arena works, and it's constantly changing. I think the format has already changed like 3 or 4 times since I've done the program, so it's trying to keep up with that and just testing and measuring. So putting a few dollars into a boost or putting an ad on Facebook, and then that now automatically connects to Instagram. So, you know, I think I've even had a few clients that have come through because of an Instagram ad, but not necessarily a Facebook ad. And then even more recently, so about a month ago, doing AdWords Express, especially for targeting pregnant women that just made things explode. So I was just like, pregnant women, how do I find them? How do I get to them? Really hard to sort of get, I think. Well, I was just finding it challenging. I'm like, where do I find these pregnant women that I want to treat, that I love treating? And within the first, I've had at least one a week since I ran that ad about a month ago. So I'm like, one a week, that's amazing. That's a win for me. That's a tick in the box.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you specifically are speaking to pregnant women that you want to see on a platform that they're utilizing. So you're speaking to the right person at the right time in the right way to get them coming on board. That's awesome. I love that. And that's exactly what digital marketing is about. So let's talk about, you've got 2 other niches. So that's one niche. You've got the shoulders niche, and then you've got the desk niche. And so talk us through your other ones about how you speak their language and you market to them.
So I think with the headaches and the chronic pain and the desk work, I reflect my own kind of experiences when they're in the clinic room, because they come in and they're like, I ask them questions about, okay, what sort of work do you do? What's your posture like? Where are your headaches coming from? So that's, I guess, more sort of modeling them when they're in there, because I think there's more of a tendency for people that don't really realize that's what's going on. So it's about educating them once they're in and once they know what's happening for them. And that's using, I guess, a different type of language when I do my Facebook ads or when I do my posts about, you know, do you suffer from, or has this ever happened to you, or did you know that, you know, 90% of Australians, blah, 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 like using the stats and normalizing and getting people to engage in that way.
Yeah. And how much different is that compared to the language you'd use to speak to pregnant mums? You know, like,
Yeah. So with pregnant mums, for me, it's about, I guess, breaking down the barriers that, you know, massage in the first trimester is safe. It's about education and that awareness around that it's not just a spa treatment, that it's not a one-off, that it's, you know, it's something that you need to continuously do, because if you look after yourself, you're looking after your baby at the same time. So there's a different language as, you know, 2 people in the massage room versus just, you know, or 2 people on the table versus just the one.
Yeah, definitely. I love that you've taken that into consideration. And just for those listening, just notice how Laura is targeting them very specifically in 2 different places and getting a different response. So sometimes, and this happens time and time again, when you have a bunch of Facebook ads to try and you put them out there and you invest and you have a go, and sometimes it may or may not work, doesn't mean that you stop and give up and go, oh, well, that doesn't work. It's like going, well, is it the copy? Is it the image? Is it the language? Is it the person? Is it the time of day? Is it the investment? Is it my budget? You know, looking at all those things once you get them right, and look at, cool, well, what if I took that message to another platform, like you said with Google AdWords, to go, okay, cool, well, AdWords Express, let's see if I can crack into a different market. And it's resulted really well. That's awesome. So what's been some of the biggest, what's been the outcome of all of this work? What have you noticed? And so you've gone from 0 clients a week in a brand new area, not knowing anyone, no one knows who you are, through to 6 months later. Kind of talk us through where you're at now, 6 months in.
So where I'm at now, 6 months in, is getting 7 clients consistently a week. And so we've also had 2 quarters. So I was tracking my bookings and how many people I was seeing each week and how many people I was rebooking. So between the quarter that's just finished to the one prior, I had doubled my booking rate, so the amount of clients that I'd seen for the quarter, and I had tripled my rebooking rate. So that was, a major win for me. I was so excited with that, and just being able to track those figures, because I know for me it's like, well, I need to be able to see something substantial. I need to be able to see this growth and this change, not just kind of have it be an abstract feeling. So being consistent with the marketing, trying an ad, going, okay, well, that didn't get as much engagement, or didn't get the result that I wanted. So trying something else, trying a different picture, trying different wording. Even with my AdWords Express ad on Google, I'm changing the wording like every couple of days, just to see if that will bring people through, just because it's like, well, just because it's there doesn't mean it has to stay the same. They've got that edit function, so I might as well use it. So that's been just that consistency, that trial and error, that changing and tweaking all the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a really good point about tracking. Like, often what we do is we base our business on how we feel until we look into our bank account, and we either feel like woohoo or oh, we suck. And we base our entire self-worth as a therapist on our cash in bank and how we feel. Oh, it's been a great week, I feel happy. It's been a quiet week, I feel crap. And so being able to say, okay, well, I've actually tracked it. Maybe I'm not at my goal yet because I know where I want to go. However, I literally counted how many clients I saw in this quarter and how many clients I saw in this quarter, and was able to see a massive difference and correlate that to the steps I've taken, as well as tripled my rebooking rate, which often helps with future bookings. Amazing stuff. To be able to language that means that what you focus on is what you get. So you're obviously focused on your numbers, knowing that that's part of running a business, which is exceptional, because it's most people where they have their blind spot and refuse to look at it. No, I'm just a massage therapist. I'm not a numbers person. It's not my thing. So the fact that you've like nailed it is fantastic. So well done. That's awesome. Love it. I love it. So what do you think? What's been the biggest challenge you've had in business, and how did you go with it? What did you get out of being challenged?
I think the biggest challenge is, and I was listening to or re-listening to Christy Melling's podcast on it this morning, because I needed to revisit it, about not building base camp in Slumptown. Like, when you have a really slow week and things aren't working, people are cancelling, rescheduling, not showing up, those sorts of things, and just how to get yourself out of that funk of, oh, this is the worst thing ever. And I think that's where I've been kind of this week. I'm like, oh no, I've got this conversation with Alicia about how great things are, and I've had a really shit week, and all that sort of stuff was going on. Like, no, 1 week doesn't cancel out the last 6 months of growth. So, all right, what can I do to get out of this slump? Who can I, is there a client that hasn't been in contact for a while? Can I just check in on them? Or, what do I need to do? Is there a network that I need to re-engage with, or, a referral point that I need to go back to, and that sort of thing. So just looking at ways to, okay, what can I do? Let's be proactive. Had a cancellation or a no-show. How can I use this hour wisely?
And it's kind of like going back to the window analogy that, when you're standing looking out the window going, I'm here, everybody, look at me. It's almost like doing the same thing, and going back to that and going, okay, people do know where I am. People do know. So now I've got to take action in a different way to actually bring them in again. Okay. Can I do that? Yes. I've done it before. Yes. And did that help? Yes. Okay. Yeah, exactly. And just realizing that there are ebbs and flows with any business, swings and roundabouts, and that it's all normal, and that when you've got the tools, it makes that slump so much quicker, because you're not overcoming it through action, which will proceed in bookings, but you're also giving yourself something to do in that time. I love that. That's really, really cool. And so do you what is there anything you wanted to share about your experience, either with the program or about business? Like, if you look back to yourself 6 months ago and go, if I just wish I had have known that one thing, what would it be, you reckon? What's some advice that you wish you had been able to give yourself 6 months ago before you started business?
Oh gosh. I think I was kind of always knew this, but I need to remind myself of just patience. Like, it's going to take time to build up, and not to get too overwhelmed when things are quiet. Like that's just part of it.
Yeah. And
just to be okay with that. And I think it's within the last weeks of the fully booked course that you give out a handout of the, you know, the rocket boosters. So when you have a quiet week, here are things that you can do. And the one that I always look at first is just be grateful. You know, just sit, be grateful for the clients that you've had, you know, last week or the week before, the clients that you've got next week. Just because it's a quiet day or a quiet week doesn't cancel out everything else. You know, just sit, be grateful, take a deep breath, and then kind of go on from there.
Yeah, nice. Look, I think that's awesome. Is there any other advice besides gratitude, which is so incredibly, it's such a powerful, like gratitude is the quickest way to take us out of scarcity. You know, like whenever we're feeling in scarcity, we have fear, we have those, it's like the quickest way out of that is through gratitude. And so like I've done this exercise myself. I've done it with my kids when they're whinging and complaining and being like, give me stuff. And I'm like, well, give me 10 things you're grateful for. And when you go on that gratitude rant, you know, I'm grateful for this and I'm grateful for this. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, like my life's amazing. And then it's kind of like, you know, marketing from that space is so much better than, I had a kind of cancer and it's not fair. Yeah, and it's kind of like you imagine whatever's going to come out of you in that stuck state is not going to be awesome. Whereas out of that, oh my gosh, my life's amazing, you come out of that space, your marketing campaign is going to be phenomenal. So, is there anything that you've learned in a journey that you would like, or anything else you've learned in a journey that you would like to share with somebody who might be listening to this today?
I don't know whether it's, you know, something about my particular journey, but just in regards to, I guess, you know, taking on and being a part of something like the fully booked course is, if you've ever sort of wondered, you know, can I do this? Or if you've had that self-doubt, or if you're just not too sure where you want to go with your business, just do the course and you'll work it out along the way, and you'll have support to do that. And then you'll have a reference point to go back to. Because I know there's a few things that I skimmed over that at the time of doing the course, it just wasn't gelling with me. And I think or didn't resonate with me. There's stuff about, you know, employees and this and that. I'm like, well, that's not where I am right now. So I listened to it, but I didn't take it in fully. So I know there's other things that I may have missed along the way. So it gives you something to go back to when you get stuck, or when you're unsure, or when you're not clear about something. So it's great to have that reference point.
Yeah.
Rather than just sort of relying on yourself and going, oh my God, there's this whole big world of business and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, because when someone comes into the program, they actually get lifetime access to the content and access to our help still even afterwards as well, which we have like a graduates group, so which you're a part of, and we have monthly webinars and stuff like that you get invited to as well. So it's not just like once a 6 weeks, you know, tick, job done, later. It's like, you know, the intensity backs off, which is kind of nice. People appreciate that for a little while, and then it's like, yeah, but we're always here. And I think it is nice because often we do treat in isolation, and it's nice to know that someone's got your back, even if you're not in close contact with them all the time, at least to know that someone's got my back, you know. And we do have catch-ups if you're part of the support network. We had coffee in Geelong a few weeks ago. Which is fantastic, and it's great that they happen all over Australia as well. People just organically tend to be the connector and be like, right, let's get together and have that. And I think being part of a tribe, being part of something bigger than just yourself, is such a good way to be able to move forward in your business. So, Laura, I just want to say congratulations to you for everything that you've put in place and for everything that you've done. It's been phenomenal working with you, and I've really loved it, and I love seeing your growth, and I love watching who you're getting to become on the journey, because often, you know, it's like here, and this is where we want it to be, and this is what it's actually like, and it does take longer, but I think consistently taking action in one direction and being willing to allow the growth to go deeper as you do that, and you go through the spaghetti, you know, maze, is just really beautiful to watch, and it's great to see you getting such a great result in such a short term in business. So well done. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time today, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again soon. All right, cool. Thanks.
that, hey, doesn't Laura have an amazing story as just such a young therapist in her career of what she's actually been able to achieve because she's known how to take the right steps at the right time. So I love to be able to share stories like this of incredibly inspiring people who take amazing action and can make a whole heap of things happen. If this is you, if you're interested in seeing how you could get these results, fill in your details below, guys, and we'll look forward to being in touch.